Martha Ivanovna had worked in this restaurant for more than 20 years. She'd started as a kitchen assistant, then became a cook, and about 12 years ago, head chef. Cooking was her life's calling. She had spent her entire life surrounded by food. She used to work in a cafeteria until all of them were shut down, then moved to a small cafe, and finally here. The owner, Viktor Sergeyevich, was a creative soul, loved experimenting with recipes, inventing new dishes. Only one flaw spoiled him. He couldn't resist gambling. His wife had left him because of it, and more than once his passion for cards had dragged him into trouble. The restaurant survived mostly because it was popular and profitable. Martha had begged him countless times to stop. He'd promise, nodding solemnly, and then fall back into the same trap. Victor loved playing poker, and not for fun, always for money. Big money. Many times, the staff went 2 months without pay because the boss had lost everything again. But Victor always made it up, paid in full, sometimes even with bonuses. He wasn't greedy. That's why everyone forgave him. One morning, Martha reached for the restaurant door, but felt uneasy, as if something bad was about to happen. She shook it off and went in. The waiters were whispering together behind the counter. Nobody working. "Good morning," she said. "Why is everyone standing around?" "Oh, Martha Ivanovna, you haven't heard?" "Heard what?" "Viktor Sergeyevich lost us." Her heart froze. "What do you mean, lost you?" "The restaurant, the whole thing. In a card game, there's a new owner coming tonight." She stared at them, speechless. "And Victor?" "In his office." She went there immediately and entered without knocking. "Well, tell me, Victor." He looked up, then down again. "You've probably already heard." Martha sat down without invitation. They'd long since bothered with formalities. "I thought you'd stopped playing," she said quietly. He lit a cigarette. "I thought so too. Guess I'm a fool." "And now what?" "Nothing to do. The man's coming this evening. I don't have the money to buy it back." She sighed. There was nothing more to say. Work usually calmed her down, so she went to the kitchen and threw herself into chopping vegetables. She wasn't afraid of a new boss. Experienced chefs like her were hard to replace. Still, she pitied Victor. He looked like a man whose world had just ended. The day dragged on. The restaurant was half empty. When she checked on him again, he sat motionless, staring into space. That night, the new owner finally arrived. A young man, maybe 30, wearing designer clothes and surrounded by loud friends. "Well, well," he said. "Didn't expect me. Relax, I'll turn this dump into something fashionable." Victor came out to meet him. The young man smirked. "We'll sign the papers in the morning. Tonight, party time." When his eyes landed on Martha, he asked, "And who are you?" "I'm the head chef." He laughed. "Not anymore, Granny. Time for the young ones to take over." Martha flushed. Nobody had ever called her Granny before. She was only 46. Without a word, she took off her apron and hat, threw them at him, and walked out. She didn't even think to grab her purse, just her phone. Victor looked pale as she passed him. That night, she cried only when she realized she didn't have her apartment keys. After borrowing the spare set from her neighbor, she collapsed on the couch and fell asleep. An hour later, unable to sit still, she got dressed and went for a walk through the city. She hadn't done that in years. Eventually, her steps led her back toward the restaurant. Lights were still on inside, though the door was locked. She circled around to the back entrance and slipped in quietly, hoping to collect her things unnoticed. Just then, she saw several young men hurrying away. She recognized them, friends of the new owner. Shrugging, she went inside. The place was silent. Her things were right where she had left them, but something felt wrong. The lights were on, yet the place was empty. Then she saw him, the new owner, slumped over a table. "Drunk already?" she muttered, approaching him. But when she touched his shoulder, he slid sideways and she caught him just in time. His lips were blue. Martha gently laid him on the floor and called an ambulance, then Victor. "Don't leave," she told him. "Technically, the place is still yours." Victor arrived just as the medics did. The young man's name was Daniel. Heart attack. Not the first one. The doctor shook his head. He shouldn't drink, ever. After they took him away, Victor gave a tired smile. "Martha, make us some of your coffee." It had been a long time since they'd sat together, like that, in the empty restaurant. When they'd finished their coffee, Victor said quietly, "Marry me." Martha blinked. "Now? After all this?" He laughed. "Well, it's practical. We won't have to split the restaurant." She smiled. "You're terrible at romance." They walked home hand in hand, both of them feeling unexpectedly young. The next day, a black car stopped outside. Out stepped a well-dressed man, Daniel's father, Mr. Leonid Arsenyev, a city official. "I came to thank you," he said. "My son is alive because of you. He'll be flown abroad for surgery tonight. As for this restaurant, keep it. That's the least I can do." He handed Victor a business card and left. Martha and Victor stood there, silent. Then Victor said, "Guess I'll make you a co-owner. Half the place is yours now." She raised an eyebrow. "Feeling generous?" He grinned. "No, I'm just making sure my chef doesn't run away again." From that day on, the restaurant thrived, with new equipment gifted by the grateful father. It became the most talked about spot in town. And in the kitchen, Martha smiled more than she had in years, because sometimes even the worst night can turn into the start of something good.